Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to make a quick little update just to say that I'm here. I'm still alive. I just got back from vacation. I went to Miami, and let me just tell you, that city is beautiful. Literally, like, if I could move there now, I would. But yeah, lots of new videos coming. I actually have plenty of ideas to discuss, which obviously I gotta get to actually recording, get all the clips together for. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy this conversation I had with Mikwen. It was super interesting that we had a few weeks ago on my live stream.
Joining us over here in our conversation post Anaheim is none other than Mikwen. Mikwen, what's going on, man? How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me.
Oh
How
my
you doing?
god, there we go. What's up?
What's up?
Doing good, man. Welcome to the HCS Bracket Show. So I just, want to start off, like we've heard from us three quite a bit. Why don't you tell me what were your takeaways from Anaheim? What really stood out to you? Who were like the shining stars and who kind of left you disappointed here?
Well, the obviously is like FaZe and United. Well, okay, so everyone thought United placed well at Raleigh was like a surprise, and then you're kind of looking at Anaheim like they had to prove. I had no expectations for them. I was like, they're probably gonna get like top 6, and then they're probably gonna the RyaNoob effect. Like RyaNoob makes it to the finals, and then he goes to top 6. That's just kind of what he does. So they proved me wrong there. FaZe, obviously, FaZe is weird because I always said it, like even like after Raleigh, they look like the worst team, but they got third. Like their teamwork was like just awful. It looked like they were just like flying around the map and just purely off individual skill got third. So I expected them to play way better, but I mean, brackets played out the way they did. They just ended up with like a really hard match early, which happens. It seems lately that when that happens, that also happens to Snipedown. I don't know what the correlation is there, but yeah, those are probably the two most obvious.
What about the less obvious?
The less obvious? I mean, Fnatic played better than I think anybody expected, and I feel like that one's kind of an obvious too. I actually, though, Esports Arena Red,
that was my big surprise.
Yeah, like the fact they like took games off people and like looked like they were having like competitive games when they, I mean, some of those players like are known and like pretty good, right? But it just looked like they were way better than I expected. I was looking at the bracket and like their games, and people were like, "Yo, ESA Red's up 1-0 on I forget whoever their first or second match was." I was like,
"They won their first game against Cloud9 in pools."
Yeah, and Sentinels, both.
Yeah, and like they had really close games. Kuhlect is also a Michigan boy, so he comes to my stream a lot, and like I was talking to him, like so I'm rooting for him to play really well.
Same.
Hopefully they stick it out and like continue on, but sometimes when you get into situations like that, that's heartbreaking stuff. Like you end up breaking up and people want better stuff, so we'll see what happens.
When United knocked out Sentinels in the post-match interview, RyaNoob was like, yeah, they just don't play Halo right. Like they just don't play it right. I don't think this is the first time he said something like that.
Apparently not.
Do you think?
Apparently not.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I'm gonna toss it to you, Mikwen. What do you think about that? Is that just like banter? You think he's being serious?
No, he's serious.
Like what's going on there?
He's actually serious. He used to say that in HOA. I team with Ryan in HOA. He is. I have to this day I have no idea how to explain Ryan. He's brilliant, but not brilliant at the same time. Like I think he does that to be like Giga Brain. But he just comes off as like, dude, what the hell are you saying right now? Yeah, obviously Sentinels know how to play the game. I think he has a bigger bone to pick with like Royal 2's play style, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from. It would be my guess, because I know that he hates people that play like Matt, but I mean, you can't. In my mind, you can't say things like that. And like that's on the same level as Kratos saying he's top 10 in every category. Like that's just like it's just like
but
things
that
you don't. That's just things that you just like don't say, right? Like they are arguably one of the greatest teams of all time, arguably the greatest team of all time. I mean, it's not even arguably one of. They are one of the greatest teams of all time. They're arguably the greatest team of all time. You can't say that with a straight face, and he really didn't. Like he kept laughing because I don't think he fully believes the shit that comes out of his mouth, but that was one of those moments that this is Ryan for sure.
I do want to touch on something you mentioned though, Mikwen. When you say like RyaNoob doesn't like how people like Matt play, are you talking about like that anchor style, stay back, kind of hold an area, get slays type? What can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I mean that's how he plays this game though. So it's like he just doesn't get kills. So like I don't know. He doesn't like people who play heavy for kills, right? Like he just never believed in. He wants to be like as efficient as possible, and arguably it becomes inefficient because he's just like throwing his body. Like it depends on which RyaNoob is playing, right? Because when we teamed, he knew that I played very slay heavy, so he just had to OE to the flag, and that was his job. So he did that. With his current team, he has Sparty who's capable of killing. Like his whole team is capable of killing, but for some reason he's playing like this really weird, like I'll go 9-4, and I'm happy with that performance. I don't know. It's just like a flavor of the month thing with him, depending on like what you're gonna get. Like I swear, every roster I've ever played against that has RyaNoob, it's like at the beginning of the game he plays a certain way, then the next month he plays a completely different way. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think he just mostly hates when people like just stat kind of. Like he doesn't like any form of like statting. But as I'm saying that, like I'm remembering, and like I play eights and he's in the eights, or like I watch him play and I'm like, dude, you're literally playing that way. You're just not getting the players that do it really well get like 2 times the amount of kills as him, right? So it's like I don't really know what you're doing, but
my understanding is that his objection to their play style is that they play a lot of situations where they're going for the mechanical outplay rather than the higher percentage play. Like Frosty, that's Frosty to a T, but that's also Renegade to a T. So I think he has an objective to that, because I'm going to make an analogy here to some former chess masters. Karpov, at the time that Karpov was on top, this is Anatoly Karpov, Russian grandmaster. Like he was #1 in the world until Kasparov came along. And then Karpov is very much this slow positional player. He played very careful, well thought out chess. And the way RyaNoob talks on Behind the Curls, that seems to be like his understanding of Halo at the current moment, is like it's very positional. And he thinks like you shouldn't be making these aggressive plays. But with the movement Halo 5 gave us and the movement Halo Infinite gives us, if you have the ability to consistently make those mechanical outplays and just like put a sniper rifle in Renegade's hands and say, go run at them and kill them, and he does it like every time, like you're misplaying to not make those plays. And that's what made Gary Kasparov take over Karpov when he came into the scene, is because Gary Kasparov played attack heavy chess, but he was also very positional at the same time. And that's why Cloud9 are better than the team RyaNoob's on right now.
The meta shifted in like 2018 H5 to where like that's just how you have to play. Like if it's not your whole team doing it, you need at least 2 people doing it. Like everyone always talked about like the young guns and stuff that came in, and like, you know, like to say like you have like these young little like crazy kids that are playing. But that obviously they were that because they were the mold for that because they were young. But the fundamental thing that they did that was so good was what Frosty did, and that's just where you play disruptive mechanical heavy Halo. You don't care about like setting up and having the perfect situation and the perfect moment set up on a tee, because those moments don't exist when you have players like Renegade on the other team, or Shotzzy specifically.
I kind of want to shift conversation a little bit and talk about Sentinels as a whole really quickly and about their performance.
I think the one series that everyone kind of threw everyone off guard was that United versus Sen series. I think besides that one, they kind of played how they were expected to. I think even though like they were practicing behind the scenes with Royal 2, they didn't get that like tournament level practice, especially against teams like Cloud9. So I think looking at this tournament, I wouldn't see this as like a full 100% Sentinels. I think they did okay. I didn't think they did fine.
Kind of bouncing off that, Mikwen, I want to toss this question to you. Like, as a pro player, as someone who's done these scrims and these online events, like, what do you find to be the most like important practice? Like, do you think these online events are like super fruitful to be like practice for real LAN tournaments, or is it more on like scrims and stuff like that?
Okay, so I honestly probably had one of the worst work ethics when I played professionally. So, and Tyler can actually kind of talk to that too as well. So online tournaments are beneficial if the team is taking it serious. So I was always on teams that your first 3 online tournaments I would say mattered. Then after that, either I checked out or Chig checked out or somebody checked out on my team, right? Me mostly. Or then when it was Envy, it was like me or Snipedown would check out or whatever, right? So for Sentinels, they're not the type of checkout team though. So they're yeah. So basically, like the mold of how things worked for me does not. Sentinels are the polar opposite. Snakebite, like just like charters, like work ethic, like be on time, scrim multiple times, get our online tournaments in and play well at these online tournaments. So I do think that like for them specifically, the fact that they would be able to scrim like 2 or 3 days out of the week, then they had to go into the tournament on Thursday in the middle of the week, play with Formal all day, and then go back to trying to play with Matt while Matt's not able to like play in any of those high level tournaments where people are going to actually bring out like their normal practice or like their possibly bring out like their best strats or like their best type form of play. So I do actually think that like really negatively impacted them. And I think you saw it like in Royal 2's play. Like you're not seeing Royal 2 play like Royal 2 yet. He's still really good, obviously. Like he's still not like he's still probably like one of the best players in the game. He has another level that he can get to. And I think once they're actually able to be consistent and on a schedule and, they're scrimming consistently and they're playing in these tournaments consistently together and there's not a bunch of like things that are happening, I think you're going to see all of them elevate and play. And then obviously, the obvious thing is that TJ just did not play well. Like, I think even if you talk to
the most consistent player at this tournament. I never saw him go positive once.
Yeah, so, I mean, TJ always jokes about how, like, if he goes positive, they lose. So, and there has been, like, actually, like there's proof in the pudding with that. Like if he ever any game, if you go back in Halo 5, if he like went off, they lost. It was like, okay, he's just not the guy that's supposed to be doing that on that team.
Yeah.
But this was like a level underneath where I think he normally plays. He wasn't really making any of like the really good lethal plays that like you would see of old. And I don't know if that's just a product of like I mean, you got to think from a psychology standpoint too, like the shit they've had to deal with this whole game. Like That's the start of it was like so rough. Like they haven't had scrims. There's been so much drama surrounding them. Their teammate gets banned for a month. Like I can't. If that was me, I would have checked out and be like, "Yo, fuck this. I'm moving on, dude. Like I'm so over this." Or like just not cared at all. So the fact that like Snakebite's still on every day streaming and taking it serious, and same with Frost, even though they do have like a distaste for the game, is a testament to their character in terms of work ethic, right? So they'll be back. They're the team that's going to be C9, I think. It's just going to take a little bit more time because of the situation that they've been in. The hand that they've been dealt is just not ideal.
Talk to me about, talk to me about what you think is working for C9 that isn't working for Sentinels, and B, talk to me about what it's like to play like a God squad like this, like a squad that's just like winning over and over again. Like, how do you feel as a player when you're matched up and you're seeing them on the other side of the stage? So like a two-parter there for you.
Okay, so what C9 does is actually incredibly simple. I mean, we touched on it with like the mechanical outplay type stuff, right? But the thing that they're doing is that they're dropping like their pride or egos to the side, and they're just using the guns. Like, it's honestly that simple. I understand that the sandbox is like kind of annoying people, but they use it in the way that it should be used. They're not using it like Optic uses a lot of the sandbox, but they use it really passive and like don't like take advantage of things. You just see Renegade like fly at people with every gun. It doesn't matter what the gun is. Like he's just going to do damage with that gun in the best way that it does damage. Like you're seeing him actually use the disruptor. You see them actually use like the pulse carbine. They go and use that sandbox and make the game so much easier on themselves when they don't even need to. And that's like the piece, right? Is those guys are better than like individually. Like if you play against Renegade, like he is not an easy kill by any means ever. And they all play that kind of style of like, I'm never going to be an easy kill. I'm never going to be like, I'm never going to give you a free kill. I'm never going to be a free death unless I absolutely have to be. And then on top of that, they're using the weapons the way that they're meant to be. So, if you look at like their timings and stuff and want to go like really in depth, like there's pieces there where they're better than everybody. But I think from like a surface level point, if you look at it from top down and what they're doing, they just don't care about using these guns. Like they don't care if it makes them look like a rat or cringe or whatever it is that people say. They're just doing it because they want to win. And then you go watch Sentinels and it's like you don't really see a lot of the sandbox in play for them. They know that their BRs are like better than most people's, but they're just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like not enough time with the game or if like, they're how they're talking behind the scenes. Like it doesn't really matter. from what I see, it's like you watch C9's sandbox representation in game, and it's far and few between you see them like taking like a one-on-one BR fight. And if they are, it's like they usually use the gun prior than that, or they're double, like, you know, they're team shotting somebody. And then when you play against teams like that, so for me in H5, it was weird, right? Because the beginning of Halo 5, our team was just like, a lot of personal stuff happened, and then our team just wasn't very good. And me and Ola were able to kind of make a comeback, get third, and then we got Hook and Snipe down. And then, you know, we sat down and like played these dudes, and we were just like, we're better. We can beat them for sure. Like I don't know. I've always been like probably like, I don't want to say it's like ego or cocky, but it's just like, I guess it's because I've like been in the scene for so long and I know all these people that I don't look at anybody as untouchable. The only person I ever played against that I was like, okay, yeah, this kid's just like, I've literally like audibly said it in game that he's like the best player in the game is Shotzzy. It's the only person that's ever happened to me with ever. Everybody else, it's like, I mean, there's plays I'll be like, holy shit, that was sick. But Shotzzy like audibly made me like gasp one time in a scrim, and I was like, and Snipe Down was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, he's the best player in the game, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. We lose this game, it's over, bro. Oh man,
and I'm just imagining Snipe Down's reaction to that.
You know exactly how it went too. It's just like he's so pissed that like something fell apart, and he's like raging. And I'm like, if you saw what I just saw, bro, like we just got outplayed. Like that. Sometimes that's just what happens. They just shot our gun. He just shot his gun better than all four of us simultaneously. Like that's literally what just happened. So Kevin and I actually go back really far. I was playing, shit, I forget like which game it was exactly, but I remember I was like random. I knew who he was because I was good friends with Wolfmain, and Wolf was always playing with him back when he was on legit. And we were playing, I think it was Halo 3 360 prior to MCC coming out, and I was like playing Halo with him, and I heard the comms that you're talking about, Tibby. Like he started like, he got into the zone and started like screaming stuff, and I remember my exact comment to him, and I was like, wait, Kevin, you're kind of not that bad at Halo, because I'd never really played Halo with him, right? Like we were playing like Minecraft hardcore survival and shit together. Like it wasn't even Halo together. And fun fact that he's never told anybody, he was literally famous on OpticCraft. His name was One Karma, and we joined OpticCraft. And this dude, we got like a ton of shit from like this crazy group in OpticCraft because he was like a famous Minecraft PvPer / raider.
What?
And we were like, what the hell is this? So we started random fact, but we played Halo. I was like, okay, this guy, you know, you're kind of not that bad at Halo. It was like literally my comment, and he started laughing. So we started playing a decent amount together, and then I was gonna be on that Liquid roster, which was Ace, Ninja, Chig, and myself, and then I got the offer to team with Ola, Heinz, and APG. So I left to go to Envy, and in hindsight, not great, but I got you
back. I took Heinz and APG away from you.
Yeah. Hindsight, that whole situation was about as bad as it possibly could have been. But that was when, like, you know, everyone was coming back. We didn't know who was good and stuff. And my suggestion I talked to Kyle Chig and said, just team with Kevin. Like, I know that his name's on legit. Like, you're probably gonna be like, who the hell is this kid? But like, trust me, he's good. And yeah, Kevin's just like through the years, obviously come into his own. But I think the thing I've always said this as like kind of a joke, but like he's not going to ever be like the MVP of a tournament. He's not going to ever be the MVP of a series. He's not ever going to be the MVP of like necessarily a game, but he's always going to be the most important person on the map. He doesn't have the skills that when you watch them, you're like, holy shit, this guy's the best player in the game. He just doesn't like, I mean, he can go out, shoot somebody and look really good, but that's just not what he does. His court vision, map vision, whatever you want to call it, is like the best I've ever seen, like been a part of. Like, you play with him and the way that he like talks in game, you're like, this is easy as shit now. Like, thank you. He's like dead or alive in some random spot, and I'm doing something, and he's like in a fight, and you see him get like 2 kills, and then he's like telling me what to do while he's getting those kills. And I'm like, what are you like, dude? How? Like, okay, all right, wow. Yes, I'm gonna listen at this point. So yeah, he's a very interesting player because nobody else has the talents that he does, and I don't think anybody ever will.
His power, instead of when him being in the zone, instead of him being better, it's all of the players around him that get better, and that is Kevin. Like, when he's in the zone, everyone on his team is affected by it.
The game just gets easier. Like, You know, like when you talk about like how like somebody walks into a room and like they make everyone better because of their work ethic and stuff. That's not Kevin. His work ethic is not the thing that makes you better. Trust me, because he's very much like me, where him and I just like check out, right? He makes the game easier on you, like legitimately. He makes you better because he makes the game easier on you. If Kevin ever got the work ethic down, I don't think, like you're talking about like who's going to beat C9. I don't think Kevin would be beatable if he actually played seriously, consistently all the time.
If he had Snakebite's work ethic.
Yeah, if you put Snakebite's work ethic on Eco, I don't think he ever loses for the next 4 years. I mean, because he is a little bit older, actually. Like, I don't think people know
right?
that,
It's surprising.
Yeah, he looks like he's like 12.
He's been playing for a while. Yeah.
He's been around. I mean, he's 29. He's older than me. So, he's one of the oldest players in the league.
Definitely older than I thought he was.
Yeah, it's weird. Mm-hmm. Like nobody expects that, but also like how you don't expect him to be like a Minecraft star. So I don't know. He's just he's full of unexpected stuff.
I want to go down the line here, and I just want y'all's predictions. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Give me one team that you predict will beat Cloud9. Give me one team that you predict will make a team change. And give me one team that you predict will severely disappoint you between now and Kansas City.
I think Sentinels has the best chance once they find their stride. SSG, I think they'll make a team change. And then the third question is who do I anticipate to be disappointed in?
Disappoint you. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I think Pioneers has been kind of just hanging out. I think Pioneers, but not for an example of like them getting worse, just not them being able to crack even higher.
I'm torn between Optic and Sentinels on that one. I think Optic has the ability to mechanically outplay Cloud9 enough so that I think in an online tournament at least, they will come out ahead before Sentinels will. I think if we see it happen on LAN, it'll be Sentinels before Optic. Team that will make a change, I'm going to pick a different team than Maliki because I do think Space Station not only will, but I think they absolutely should make a team change after seeing this tournament. I'm going to go with E United. I think they're going to be a little frustrated. Like, even though they got third this event, I think like playstyle, they're still kind of clashing in game with how they like view everything. So I think they're going to probably make a team change sooner than people would expect. And then a team that will disappoint me, it's hard to be disappointed because I have like no expectations for any of these teams outside of Cloud9. And Cloud9, I can't be disappointed by them because half the time online I'm expecting Eco and Stellar to just not try. So there's not really a team that can disappoint me.
The team, my hot take is the team that beats Cloud9, and I'm kind of cheating here, and I'm sorry, but I think the team that beats Cloud9 consistently is going to have Bound on it. I don't know if that team's going to be FaZe, but I think the team that beats them consistently is going to have Bound. The team that I think will make a change will be FaZe. I do expect a change out of FaZe, and I am expecting to be disappointed by Optic's performance from now until Kansas City.
Sentinels are the chosen. They're on the other side of the fence this game. They're going to be the ones that take back their crown in a sense. I think you're going to see the third place team gets the people that underperformed and forms a good team. So I think you're going to see Sparty get back with the boys on FaZe. The team that the last time we teamed with them, they won.
Oh wow.
Okay. And then United's going to kind of fade to black, I think, at that point. And then I think you're going to see some like assortment of probably like a miscreant squad that's really good, like maybe it's Formal and Snipe Down or something, or I don't know. But so yeah, something there. And then for what was the third question again?
Who do you think is going to be super disappointing?
Oh, Optic. I think Optic hit their peak a while ago, and they clutched up this weekend. One, because I think they were lucky that Sentinels isn't who they are right now, or isn't who they should be, rather. And I think that they're obviously a very talented squad, and I know that if anybody hears this, I'm going to get so much shit that I'm saying they're going to underperform. But I think they hit their peak, and if they don't figure out chemistry/playstyle compromises in the next 3 weeks to a month, they're never going to figure it out, and they're just going to slowly start to like backslide. And it might not be slow; it might be really aggressive, actually. Especially as these teams that form to become better get into play, you're going to see them start to like backslide really quickly. So yeah, that's my guess.
Okay, everybody, one player outside of the top 8 teams that you think should be picked up for a team to break into the top 8.
Vetra.
First,
Vetra.
Did we both say Vetra?
Yeah,
we both said Vetra.
I'm gonna go with Kuhlect. I think Kuhlect is another rising player like Vetra. Both Kuhlect and Vetra are 2 players I had my eyes on, and I didn't watch Vetra's gameplay too closely, but I think with the success of Esports Arena, I think Kuhlect has kind of proven that he has like a foundation to kind of go off of. So Kuhlect is for me.
I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to one of the other former Team Liquid boys, commonly now known as Ali.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hamza Abba Ali he's very good at this game. And even though he's the reason they lost that game against Fnatic in Game 5, like his shot calling in all of the series he's been playing is super on point. Like he is the type of player that will turn most of the losses into a win just by talking to his teammates the right way. So put him with some players that are a little more mechanically adept at the game than who he's got surrounding him right now, and he's going to shine in this game.
All right, guys. So before we say bye, Mikwen, one final question for you, unrelated to Halo. You're given a ticket to the When We Were Young tour. What 3 bands do you see?
Oh my god, I gotta go look at the list. 1 second.
I know I have to ask my fellow emo.
I'm still sketched about that.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's legit. I'm on the wait list, so I am gonna try to go.
On the wait list?
All right.
I've been thinking about it, man.
I can only see
just 3. You got to pick 3. You can only see 3.
Okay.
But you're seeing their full
Ocean?
sets.
Stay Ocean, because Anthony Green's back with them, and their EP was like probably the greatest thing to happen in post-hardcore. Thursday, and then I have to see Paramore.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
cool.
And I've seen MCR and I've seen Dance Gavin Dance a bunch, so that's why like MCR and Dance Gavin Dance are some of my favorite bands of all time. But those 3 specifically, I've never seen Thursday, I've never seen Stay Ocean, and both of them were very influential for the music that I grew up listening to. So I'd have to go give respect.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining the HCS Bracket Show. My name is Wave. Again, thank you, Mikwen, for joining us. Thank you, Audibly. Thank you, Devious. Follow these guys on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Thank you again. Leave a follow here on this channel so you know when we go live again. Thank you all, and everybody, have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.